You're listening to the New Artist Workshop.
I can read minds.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
What's your name?
Wednesday, what's yours?
I don't want to tell you.
Hello, Peggy.
Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. Now that's what I call a franchise. I'm Peter Mancuso.
It's very presumptuous. But I'm Viviana.
I've made that joke before.
I'm Viviana Metzger, and this is a show where Peter and I pick a film franchise and go through every single installment, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And to be clear, we're defining a franchise as a series of films with at least 4 entries. So, Viviana, what are we talking about today?
I'm so sorry. I'm going to move my microphone closer to me if there's like a weird sound. Okay.
That's okay. You just destroyed their eardrums, probably. What are we talking about today? I have no idea what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
I
All
lean
right,
on
today we are talking about the 2021 film The Addams Family 2. And of course, one and only spoiler warning, so if you haven't watched the movie, maybe go do that before listening to this episode. Maybe you don't have to.
They really missed the opportunity. They really missed the opportunity. Addams Family Vacation?
Your discretion. Yeah, because isn't that what it is, like Hotel Transylvania Vacation or something?
I have no idea, but
I'm obsessed with Hotel
these
Transylvania.
films, they've been following that kind of trend. So you have like the Addams Family, 2 films called The Addams Family, but then there was Addams Family Values, Addams Family Reunion. So it's like this play on like different family things.
Yeah, Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation.
Maybe that's why they didn't name it that.
They should have done something like that.
When did that come out?
This was 2018.
Oh, okay. So they were like, we don't wanna.
It was far enough away. 3 years.
Why don't you read the letterbox blurb for us?
All right, here we go.
This one's funny.
Cold read, as usual. The Addams get tangled up in more wacky adventures and find themselves involved in hilarious run-ins with all sorts of unsuspecting characters.
I love you get tangled up in more wacky adventures. It was pretty wacky.
Why is there no second sentence to follow up the unsuspecting characters?
No. They find themselves involved with all sorts of unsuspecting characters. Period.
I know, but it just seems unfinished.
The rest is still unwritten.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. This is
like
a pet
most
peeve.
of this movie.
unless it's done really well, I don't like in songs to force a rhyme. People will use words, but the
Because
emphasis, the syllab, like the emphasis on the right syllables, is weird. So like you wouldn't say unwritten, you say unwritten. Like the emphasis is on the ri part.
Yeah, but it's a song, so you.
I know, but I'm saying sometimes I hate it when people make parody songs. So they make something that technically rhymes and technically fits the rhythm, but it'll be like it's forced because like the word, like they're saying words, but you would never say that. It sounds wrong, and that's why I really like Weird Al because they're like actually really great songs in a vacuum.
About baloney.
No, I'm talking about in terms of like the construction, not perhaps not the content, but like the construction. He has a good ear for like actual like lyrical.
But do you like The Key of Awesome? Did you ever watch The Key of Awesome?
No.
I wanna sleep on you.
Is that a parody of a song?
Yeah, of Justin Bieber. And then they did one of
I would have to listen.
Of Kesha. And there's Donkey in it for some reason.
Oh, it's like, here's an example. This is really a tangent. As you can tell, we don't have much to say about this movie.
Oh, and then
So no. So we live in New York, and sometimes I see like ads on TikTok for the New York Blood Center, and they do kind of like trendy TikTok ones, and they do like this rap about gaming. And she's like, when I play games online, I like to be a good teammate. That sounds wrong. It's not teammate, it's teammate. Like the emphasis is on the team.
The games have to do with blood.
Because talk about you help teammates and you go heal your friends. So it's like the same way you should go donate blood. But it really bothers me because it sounds like someone who like kind of likes rap wrote the rap and everyone on the staff was like, this is great. It sounds like a real rap. And it doesn't because any lyricist would know you wouldn't put the word teammate in that rhythm because it sounds wrong. I want to be a good teammate.
Well, it's not a couplet per se, but it might be like a
chicken couplet?
like a A, B, A, C type of situation.
No, that has to do with rhyme. I'm talking about rhythm.
But the rhythm goes
And
with
solemn.
the rhyme goes with the rhythm.
I'm not talking about the rhyme. I'm talking about you're putting words into a rhythm, but by doing so, you're putting emphasis on syllables that you wouldn't if you were just talking. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it can be done, but it's usually kind of like you have to know the rules to break the rules.
Like
people are just doing it.
House.
That's something.
House.
That's not really. That's completely different. But anyway, so let's do some basic info here.
Letting it all hang out.
So the directors are just letting it all. What a horny song.
Yeah, it's very questionable.
She's got letting it all hang out. Describing her measurements. 36, 24, 36. Oh, what a winning hand.
Brick house, is that the front or the back? Or is that all together?
I think just the whole, she just built like a brick house.
Oh, just a brick house. Woo!
Anyway, so
Woo,
this
girl.
film was directed by the same directors as last time, Greg Tiernan and Conrad Vernon. It was written by 4 writers. It's always great when there's 4 writers on an animated film. I don't think any of these...
Is that sarcastic?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 of them, Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit, they together co-wrote that live-action Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie, where it was like Ryan Reynolds voices Pikachu, which is weird because I thought the whole point is that like they just say their names, like that's the only language they could. So like Pikachu is just like Pikachu. It was also co-written by Ben Queen, who wrote Cars 2. Considered by many to be one of, if not the worst Pixar film ever made. Especially when it came out, because it was like...
What? The second one? Even more than the third one?
People really like the third one.
Like the third one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The third one was like a return to form.
What's the second one?
It's like Mater, he's like a spy.
I thought that was the third one.
And no. The third one is like Lightning McQueen. It's almost like Old Man Logan, but for Lightning McQueen, where he's like getting old now and like he has to train the next generation. And
I like this.
It had an iconic trailer that was like really edgy and like crazy because the trailer came out like at the same time as the Logan trailer came out. So I remember me and my friends would compare them, like say like it's like Logan but for cars.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, I like when Mater's a spy. That's funny.
And he
thinks it's pistachio ice cream, but it's wasabi.
Yeah.
Classic Mater.
And this movie was also co-written by Susanna Fogel, who co-wrote the movie Booksmart.
Yeah, I got that. I fully got that.
What?
She was in it.
What?
This movie was not a movie. This movie, as like Booksmart, was just a collection of songs.
What are you talking about?
There were so many.
Like in the movie Booksmart?
Yeah, the one with Jonah Hill's little sister. It's literally just a bunch of songs. There's like barely any movie. And in the first one...
I guess so. I don't love that movie, but...
In the first one, it was like a lot. But then in this one, it was like literally almost every scene.
There were a lot of songs. I didn't
not
think
original
of Booksmart.
songs.
This is a lot. You're getting
they were
very
also
aggressive.
like copywritten songs. They were like famous songs. They weren't even like
needle drops. Yeah,
specifically for the movie.
I do not remember Booksmart. I remember it having music. I did not remember it having so much music too. Like that's like the primary.
It was like every single scene was like a modern song. Was like a thing. Was like a thing. Was like a thing.
Well, when you're a teenager driving around in the summer, music is a big part of it.
But they weren't driving around in the subway. It wasn't diegetic.
All right. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying.
Good Lord.
Anywho.
You're like, ah! It was produced by Gail, Berman. I think these are the same producers, maybe, or a few of them. Gail, Berman, Conrad, Vernon, Danielle, Sterling, and Alison O'Brien. It was distributed once again by United Artists Releasing. It was released in October of 2021. Good, like, Halloween timing. I think, did the last one come out in October? I don't remember. And this had a budget of $23 million, which is the cheapest in the franchise, which is surprising. It's slightly cheaper. The first one was $24 million. And this grossed $120 million. So the first one was more expensive, but made more, like way more. And this one was just $1 million less, but made
October 11th.
Okay. And this only made $120 million, which is really weird that this was made for less, even if it's only $1 million less, because I wrote in my notes that it looks much better than the first one.
Yeah.
Like, a big thing that people think...
Well, there's time, too.
I guess so, but I mean, movies looked better. It's not like, oh, because of the era is different now in movies. Like, no, in 2019 it didn't match what. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like that was the best at the time, but it was just limited by the technology of the time.
No,
like
I know.
that movie looked bad for 2019, not just now.
No, I know. I'm saying maybe it's like a Marvel situation where they're just being rushed.
Perhaps. I don't know how long each production was, but we know at least this one was a minimum. If anything, we know this was only like 2 years because it was in between.
Well, because this was during COVID, so I wonder if they worked overtime or I don't know. I
do not know. It's a good question.
Maybe.
All I know is that I thought it looked much better, and like there's different things about animation, like CGI animation. It can look good on multiple levels. So like character design, the actual like manipulation. Because ultimately, I finally figured out a way to describe the difference between 2D and 3D animation. 2D is from scratch, whereas in 3D you're essentially creating little digital puppets.
Yes.
So like when you're drawing Beauty and the Beast, you can't just draw the Beast and now manipulate him. Whereas in CGI animation, you create the model and then you manipulate the model.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that's the difference.
I know. My problem is visually. I know constructively.
So what was this movie?
Constructively. This was 3D.
Okay.
I can tell when it's all one. I can't tell when they're mixed together.
Uh-oh.
And also sometimes it depends on the art style.
Oy.
You know what? It's none of your business. Just keep
Anyway,
going.
I was going to say, so that's one way of judging animation, like CGI animation, is like the actual manipulation of the characters, like in how that shows their personality.
Well, you know what?
What?
Well, continue.
Oh, I was going to just say, but then another way is just pure technologically, like how well is it rendered, and then what's like the lighting, and like people with live action movies too, lighting is often what makes a movie look good or not good. Mm-hmm. It's lighting. I can see you're just waiting for me to finish. You can say what you want to say. So just say what you want to say. I'll remember. You won't remember what you're saying. I'll remember.
I only know what you're talking about if it's like very drastic, like with Morticia's eyes being highlighted, like, you know.
But I'm just talking about in terms of, like especially in video games, like in graphics, like lighting makes things look better.
Yeah.
Whereas everything just looks flat. They just look like. They look like in Toy Story it doesn't have very dynamic lighting like the first one. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's what we figured out about why I don't like modern movies for the most part.
Because they're lit like shit. # lit shit or shit lit.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like I'm thinking of like the Charlie's Angels movie and like the new Fast and Furious. It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't know. And a lot.
That also has to do with again like the
Marvel,
digital versus film, but still.
the Marvel ones. I still like them.
Because Marvel movies, they're primarily filmed on a green screen. So they have to be lit in a way because it's very flat lighting, which is very practical for then doing stuff in a when they're digitally applying stuff. And then also especially you can't have very drastic lighting on green screen because then there's going to be a bunch of shadows on the green screen.
Because like...
Whereas if you're like in an actual room and you actually have like really like specific lighting, like the way the light hits the bookshelf on the back, like there's like texture and like there's things like that's what film is light bouncing off of things and then hitting the camera. So like that's like the essence of cinema. So when things aren't lit well, even digital or film,
well, and you know, I think something also that plays into it is style, like art style and whatnot. So like I'm fine with a flat Snow White. I know that's a drawing, you know, like...
But the manipulation of the color...
It's the story, you know, like, I know it's like a fairy tale, right? So it's like on the thing, where it's like something else, I don't know, Hotel Transylvania, is not...
Person who's only ever seen Hotel Transylvania.
Is not like a story being illustrated. It's like off the page, you know, so it has to look different, right? Whereas like... You know, or if like a Marvel movie did that, like those are real people. That's not an illustration, so it looks weird, right?
Sure.
Anywho, but I was thinking, I came across a good example, I think, of what you were saying last time about the difference in, I don't know, action, elasticity, and characterization.
Oh, like characters almost being like made of rubber, like they're bouncing around.
Yeah,
and stuff.
in animation versus in real life, right? So like when oh, I forgot his name. when the yellow suit man,
The lawyer, Mr.
Mostella,
or something like that. Who dies? Question mark in this? Wednesday murders him?
I don't know. I was left uncertain. But then he gave information to Strange. So was that before or after he died?
That was before he died.
Oh shit. I don't know. So Wednesday confirmed murderer? Anyways, so when they were trying to get, they were riding on the little moped and they're trying to get onto the camper, and the other guy, Bubbles, whatever his name is. Pongo. I'm thinking Bubbles like from Lilo and Stitch. Anyways, so Pongo and Juanita.
I was gonna say from 101 Dalmatians.
He like is flung off the moped somehow and is like holding on to the rail of the camper, which is like a train in the back. It's not like a rail camper, which is strange, but whatever. And then Mustafa, what?
The lawyer. Just say the lawyer.
The yellow man.
I would not say the yellow.
Oh, the yellow suited man. Sorry.
I don't know if I would say that.
Sorry, the yellow suited man is like walking on his face to get up onto the camper.
Yeah.
So I was like, that would not be good in real life. That would be.
But you could do that in animation.
Dangerous and like not okay. Whereas like, yeah, now it's like funny. Oh, he's like stepping on his lip. Blah blah blah. He's got a little foot. But like in actuality, like, that'd be bad. Like imagine Vin Diesel doing that, like in Fast and Furious.
Like basically, I think to illustrate my point, anything with Uncle Fester in this movie, I think illustrates my point.
Yes.
Like how just like he's just like a big rubber ball and he kind of bounces around and he stretches.
Why
and
is he like a science experiment? It's like,
I thought it was just a throwaway thing in the beginning.
I know.
didn't realize it was gonna be a through line where he becomes a giant kaiju octopus man with tentacle mustache.
Oh, I love that mustache. No, it was like a very slow to realization like plot line.
They were playing the long game with that one. I kind of appreciate it.
But it's like he's just like a crash car dummy. Like in the first one, Wednesday's like, okay, I'm gonna shoot some arrows.
Oh yeah, he just keeps going through
his like head or whatever. And then in this one, she's like, okay, I'm gonna inject like Socrates' blood into you. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like what?
The whole plot is very convoluted.
It is.
It's very, very convoluted.
Yes, it was. I can't even like. I was so.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the background info because literally it just says like the first one was successful, so they made a new one, and that was it. There's really no info.
Well,
so why don't we just get into what we thought?
And also seeing all the names and whatnot from the background, the producing people. Conrad is really the one who is spearheading this, right? Director, producer, Lurch.
Oh, he voices Lurch?
Yes.
Which
I don't know if he's just Lurch or if he's Lurch also with the beautiful voice.
Probably not the beautiful voice.
That's what I thought, but there's no other listed Lurch.
It's probably just a singer they hired. That's uncredited.
What? Conrad can't be a good singer?
No, but then it begs the question: why isn't he a singer?
What do you mean?
Like, why is he a director then? If he's such a good singer, why wouldn't he just go be a singer? Why are you making mediocre movies if you're like a really good singer? Is my point.
Oh, because it's not like pop star level.
It's like pretty boilerplate. It's probably just like some like studio singer that they just hire.
I don't know.
To just do these vocals.
I don't know. I've been looking.
You've been looking. Okay. I only have like 4 notes here. We talked about this off mic, but we could say it now. Is the movie was paced very fast, but they were quickly going to nowhere. Like what's that phrase? Like going nowhere fast.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Like it's just like it's I don't even know. Like I complimented the last one that we watched on like it's not done super well, but there is like an idea of like a story and a theme about like and like the idea of conformity versus individuality. But then they kind of do the same thing here, but not and worse. So because in this one it's about Wednesday being potentially not being an Addams. Whereas the first one's about like what does it mean to be an Addams?
Yes.
Whereas with this one, there's this whole like back and forth about like.
But that was more like boy centered though, because it was about the Mazuka.
No, with her too. Remember, she's trying all the clothes and stuff. Like, what does it mean? Like she could push the boundaries. So. Like she's like she's kind of bored with the conformity of her family's radical individuality, which just means we're just going to be all the same, but in a different.
Well, that's weird though, because when they're at the Grand Canyon, her mother was like, "Oh, do you want to go shopping?" And she was like, "Oh, like the little black dress is a classic. Like, why would I?"
That's my point. Yeah, it's not very consistent, and so it's like this movie.
You can't say that this movie is boring. It's.
I would. I was bored.
Oh, well, it's very fast paced. A lot of things happen. However, it's just like not a strong story, and it's kind of confusing because it's very convoluted. And also, on IMDb, there are 2 people listed for Grandma Frump and only 1 for Lurch. So, I'm thinking Conrad has a beautiful voice.
There's only
not
we'll
like
never
pop
know.
Star, you know, like because there's a difference between like a pop star singer and like a classical singer or whatever. That was always my problem in choir, is like I didn't have a pop star voice, so I was singing opera.
Yeah. And singing opera.
Because it's hard to
German. Oh, she's fleischten.
No, like
you were
others,
singing like that German stuff.
like others. Yeah, the one song.
Oh, I thought that was like exclusively what you did.
No, you fool.
You don't have to call me. You don't have to call me the F slur.
It's a middle school in Texas that only sings German songs.
I know. I'm just being silly.
That's ridiculous.
But it just feels like it's like a nothing. Like this one is also trying to do something like the last one, and I gave credit to that one, but this one like feels worse. Like it's like I don't give it credit for doing something because it's so convoluted to do something. Like it's like, so here's the thing. And I go back and forth on this, but in a perfect world as a screenwriter, you come up with like an interesting narrative first. And then when you write like your first draft, which is always gonna be messy and you know, aimless and might have a beginning, middle, and end, but not have like a strong like theme or anything. A theme or a concept arises out of the narrative. Ideally.
Yeah.
Right? So you can come up with a cool story about like people solving a mystery. And then they solve the mystery. But like there's nothing like to sink your teeth into. Ideally, as a screenwriter, you write your first draft and you go, okay, like what narrative, what theme naturally arises, what theme naturally arises out, bubbles out of this narrative. Do you mind?
Yeah.
So whereas this, it feels like they went backwards and went, let's have a thing where maybe we think Wednesday isn't an Addams, but actually she is, and then they contort themselves into this preposterous, convoluted plot where why is there this mystery around this? Because this guy wants to pretend Wednesday's his daughter. Well, why does he want to do that? Because he wants her technology. Well, why? Because she says the technology, it's a family secret. And he's like, well, if I'm her family, which makes no sense because it's an Addams family secret, so you don't get to know it now. So it just makes no sense.
Change it. Well, I think there are a lot of things that are connected, but that are just never connected, right? So it's like, why are Gomez and Morticia so like adamant about hiding this guy from her? Like, is she actually adopted? Like, you know, because Fester told the story, so there could be like
a baby mix-up. Yeah,
you know, there could be some mix-up. Why are they? You know, if it's their child, what do they care? I mean, it's like a weird thing to do. It's invasive and rude, but like, you know, why are you scared about it happening? You know, because then that would imply that she's not, right? So that you're like afraid to lose her if she finds out that she's not, right? So
it's just all very contrived, yeah. But then
it came up again, and Uncle Fisher was like, oh, like, does this have to do with that baby story or
that perfectly harmless story?
That perfectly harmless story or whatever. So like you would think it would be. He
was like, oh, all the babies are crying, and it was the old Addams trick: put every baby in a different carriage.
Well, no, he was juggling them first. But yeah, so I thought there were things there, but they didn't. It was like so tongue in cheek that it wasn't connected.
I wouldn't even say tongue in cheek. It's just
I don't know. They have to.
They've built this strange, like I said, contorted narrative to serve this idea that barely makes sense. And again, it's like all these things that are just so forced. So again, it's like, I don't know. The family secret thing really bothers me because that just doesn't make any sense.
Well, now she would be part of his family.
But it's not his family secret. It's an Addams Family secret. So she's going to take all the Addams Family secrets and bring them over?
Yes.
No, that makes no sense.
It's like if someone marries into the family.
But she's leaving the family.
I know, but it's like...
It's the exact opposite of someone marrying into the family.
It's the exact opposite, but it's the same idea.
It's the same exact thing except the complete opposite?
It's the
I like how you said earlier, like, they're connected, but they're not connected. I was like...
Well, it's like...
That seems
those are two things that you would think go together. However, they are just put in as gags. And so they are not put together. Although...
Well, I think it is connected. I think the point is that they're afraid that Fester mixed them all up. And like, this could happen.
No, but
this could be real.
But they're afraid even before he tells them the story. Is the thing.
No, because when the lawyer first comes, they're like, haha, nice try Wednesday, trying to get out of the family. So they're not afraid until Fester tells them the story. They're like, Hoi!
I thought once Wednesday says she doesn't know the lawyer, then that's when they started freaking out.
They got a little concerned.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a nothing story. As most of these films are, it's a nothing story.
That's why it's scary. It's a very strange thing that
What's
we do.
scary?
When we have babies and then they go off.
Oh, we're back to the baby thing?
Then we go off to another room and then you get switched at birth. Oh.
I know. Wasn't there a whole show called Switched at Birth?
There was. That's why
on ABC Family?
That's why I was like, oh, are they doing a switched at birth type of thing? But kind of like with the Uncle Fester thing. So I was like, oh, okay. Like,
wasn't one of them deaf?
Yes.
Wouldn't you know that like when they was born, they figured out it was deaf before the switch could have happened? So it's like yesterday you said our baby was deaf, and now they're not deaf.
Yeah.
So like, what, they got healed?
Come out differently though. It's weird because they can like speculate things while like in utero, but then when they come out, it could just be like.
No, I'm talking about like after they're born.
I know.
And then they put them in the room. Like, there's a couple days that theoretically the accident could happen.
No, they don't. No, as soon as it happens with your baby a little bit, then they go to get cleaned up, get their like finger pricked, and get their like little footprint taken and whatnot. So it's not. They don't just stay there for days. They come back. It's just to clean them, and also like register them, I guess. But in that...
So you're saying the swap could happen very early?
Yes.
I thought maybe they'd be like in like the little nursery for a couple days.
And also I don't think, unless there was a problem, unless there was a concern beforehand, then I don't think you would necessarily take a hearing test as soon as you pop out, until there's like some concern.
I thought they go, hello! I thought they just stick their face in their face.
No, you have to do the little decibel like thing in the
How do you do that? Because I thought like when you as an adult doing hearing tests, you say like they say like put your finger up when you hear the beep. How do you do that with a baby?
I don't know.
Anyway,
poop when you hear a beep.
I really don't have much more to say. Like I said, the animation quality is much better. The opening with the science fair was very colorful. I love some good colors. Mm-hmm. And I like the giant kaiju fight at the end. Mm-hmm. They're not really kaijus. I'm being a little liberal with that. With calling them kaiju.
They were pretty. I don't know what kaiju means, but they were.
Kaiju is like it's like giant monster films, like Godzilla, or like Mothra.
Kong.
Yeah, so that's what kaiju means.
But a chicken dinosaur pig thing with an octopus man.
How did you feel that Pugsley kind of got sidelined because the actor who played him got too old, so like they recast him?
I did see that. So the boy in this show or this movie is the little kid from Euphoria. Isn't that weird?
I mean, I guess so.
I don't know why.
I've never seen Euphoria, so.
But like
Isn't it weird this actor's in another movie?
No, but it just seems like so like not sanitized to like a very like sanitized.
Of course. Well, he's still a child.
No, I know. I don't know. I didn't really notice, but you did.
I just felt like we were like he had a whole subplot, or like not a subplot, but he had like a major kind of plot in the first one with the Mazurka.
Yeah.
And in this one, he's just like wants to learn how to talk to girls.
Yeah.
Like it's not really like he doesn't really have an arc. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the first one, like there was an arc. there for him.
Yeah.
I don't like using the term subplot. I like to use the terms like, is there an arc or is there not an arc? Like, is it actually going through a change as like a human being, or is it just like he's just doing things to occupy time in the movie, like the movie's time?
I don't know. He's just there.
Literally anything else to say? I literally have nothing. This might be our shortest one. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. It was boring.
More Snoop Dogg.
More Snoop Dogg.
That was so funny though, because it was like Cousin It, and he was like, and then he brought it closer to his mouth, and he was like, yeah,
yo,
and
yeah.
I'm Snoop Dogg.
It's like, whoa.
So silly.
Snoop Doggy Dog.
Yeah, things are just strange.
Do you like this more or less than the last one we watched? Well, you gave the last one an 8, so clearly you liked that one much more.
Yeah, I think that one was more put together. Like, I think this one could be really cool, but it's like, there are a lot of weird things that could be used that are just ignored. Like, why does no one say anything when Fester's arm is a tentacle for like a long time? Like it's not a joke. It's not a prop.
It's like
it's there. But
that's his body.
But they don't say anything. And it's like, do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
It's so strange. So I feel like they just kind of like missed the obvious things for some other silly things. And also for playing such a big role or a big component of this story, there was not a lot of Socrates. Made me sad.
I know.
You would think he would go with them or something. I guess he would.
I thought maybe Socrates would become. Did they swap, or did Fester just get some of his? Like, did Socrates get some of Fester's blood? I thought they were going to do something where Socrates is like dumb and he can talk now and he's out, like almost like they switch brains.
Yeah,
and it would be like
that's what it was like. It was like to make Fester smarter because Socrates is smarter, but I didn't realize it would be the whole body.
Yeah.
It kind of changed, right? So that was like literally it. And then over the course of the movie, they were like, "Oh, but what if it like did more than that?" Like
yeah. That's strange.
Also, why is Grandma charging $500 for a little party?
Now that's an example, kind of like the Pugsley thing of just like why is this happening? Like, it's just...
Well, because people want to party at a...
No, I don't mean diegetically. I mean, like, why is that, like, what you... Like, you really need to pad out the runtime. You need to, like, have all these,
well,
like...
last time she was doing, like, poker or whatever. Like, she's always doing something kooky.
As the song says.
Exactly. I don't know about the petite. Is the petite about it?
I have no idea what petite... I think it's rhymes.
Or maybe...
Neat, sweet, petite. Do I hear some trivia?
Yeah.
Okay. So Wednesday in the movie says she was named after the old nursery rhyme that goes, Wednesday's child is full of woe. This is, in fact, how the character was named for the original television series.
What poem is that?
I have no idea. I guess it's an old nursery rhyme.
Oh, a nursery rhyme. You know, nursery rhymes are actually, like, pretty fucked up.
Are they? Or is that just, like... You know how people will be like, Rugrats is actually... Angelica coping because all of the babies died.
No, it's like...
Right. Or so is it just like a fan theory about nursery rhymes, or is it actually...
No, it's like Ring Around the Rosie, pocket full of posies, because posies during, like, help with the smell of dead bodies during the Black Plague. Right. So.
That's fucked up. Is that really a nursery rhyme, though? I'm thinking of nursery rhymes like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
Sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ashes, we all fall down.
Whoa.
It doesn't say who wrote this.
Who wrote this?
I thought it was going to be like a Walt Whitman
Wednesday's
thing.
child is full of woe. Is that because Wednesdays suck because it's hump day?
Polly Bex. But he's like, I remember when Wednesday was born. It was a Tuesday.
I remember the day Wednesday was born. It was a Tuesday. Yeah.
I guess it's by some person, Polly Bex.
Oh, good for them.
I don't know.
When trying to... Oh.
Nothing.
I was
just going to say I thought it would be Walt Whitman, that's all.
Walt Whitman? He didn't write nursery rhymes. He wrote actual poems.
No, I know, because she said a poem.
I just told you it was a nursery
Why is it what? When did you say that?
I literally said it's from the nursery rhyme.
Oh.
When did I say that? About 30 seconds ago?
Rhymes, poems.
You're in your
Anyways, he's got the thing about the grass, you know. And the man with the boat. So.
Walt Whitman?
Yeah, so I just thought he, you know, would...
I just like the name of one of his poems, The Learned Astronomer. Anyway. When trying to hide from the lawyer, the Addams Family car is crashing through a billboard of the Progressive Insurance Company, prominently showing their character Flo. The actual company released a commercial trailer in which an animated insurance team appear at the Addams Family mansion and tell them that they are there for them 24/7, much to the displeasure of Morticia. So, talking about product placement.
Yeah.
I was wondering why I was like, this is like very like...
That's what I'm saying. It's like in Victorious or something, like with the pear phones. It's just like... too close where it's like weird.
Well, it's not too close. It was literally Progressive and Flo.
No, I know. Or like
this is an actual this is actual product placement.
I don't know, it's just weird.
You don't like product placement.
No
one does.
Unnatural product placement.
But like in like the iCarly and Victoria stuff, that's not product placement. They're just like, we can't do an iPhone, so we're just gonna do like a parody of it.
Well, yeah, the parodies and then also the placements sometimes. Like in a FIFA game, okay, that makes sense because in a real soccer game, they're going to have ads all over the place.
I know.
But like if you're just like, I don't know, selling an ice cream product placement in Call of Duty, that's strange. You know? It's unnatural. It's got to be natural.
Yeah. This is the first film in the Addams Family series to feature a villain who is shown as a male character, unlike the first film in the previous 3 live-action films, which always had a female villain. I'm not sure about that, because the family reunion, the doctor was kind of like a villain, kind of. No?
Yeah, who was the lady in the reunion?
Maybe the sister. Remember the one, and she's like, ah! And Lurch wants to, like, hook up with her. Remember,
That was, like, not
really a villain.
a villain.
I don't know. This franchise fucking sucks.
I'm
Do I hear some reception? Yeah, you really dropped the ball on this one. I'm glad we're done.
I'm sorry.
We're basically done now. So, in terms of the contemporary reaction on Rotten Tomatoes, has a 28%. Very low. The critical consensus is nice, is short and sweet. Quote, altogether ooky and not in a good way. Owen Gleiberman of Variety wrote about the film, quote, it's in the nature of most animated sequels to struggle to recapture the full charm of the original hit. But in the case of the Addams Family 2, Tiernan and Vernon have used the sequel as an opportunity for an upgrade. Also, Owen seems to have liked it a little bit. The script is by an entirely new team, and in some ineffable bats in the belfry way, the jokes now land with a more inspiring, spontaneous, creepy kookiness, end quote. I completely disagree, Owen. I thought the first one was much more clever in its scripting. And I seem to agree with Molly Freeman of Screen Rant, who called the film, quote, a shallow continuation that spends too much time on unconnected hijinks, resulting in an uneven sequel with much less heart, end quote. Completely agree. Do you want to hear some minor reception?
Why do you keep asking me? Of course you're gonna tell me.
Well, if you say so. On Letterboxd has a 2.3 out of 5, which the first one also had like a 2.4 something, but I felt like that wasn't fair. This one is maybe still not fair, but I don't know. So at 2.3, here's some reviews. 24 Frames of Nick writes, how dare you make a sequel? TV Review, but spelled T-E-E-V Review, writes, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh.
And then Hoover writes, sorry, but God, I wish I could punt that little gross Pugly kid.
Yeah, I don't like Pugsley.
He's really gross.
He looks gross. Like there's like dirt in his crevices, but like humans, do we have crevices like that? Like on our...
I don't know.
He has like dirt in his eye bags or something.
Viviana, this movie's putting me to sleep. Favorite part, character, scene, actor, line, what?
I think I gotta go for a classic gag and do the first, which they did far too many times. But when... Oh, I forgot their names. When the guy is proposing to the girl the first time, and then like...
there's like this recurring gag of like this guy proposing, but at each of these like iconic places to propose to people. Yes. But because of the Addams Family hijinks, things don't go well.
Yeah. I just thought the first one was funny.
Yeah.
And also I liked his mustache, his tentacle mustache.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think my favorite part was Uncle Fester as a full form giant octopus at the end.
I did not like that though. When he was like not there quite yet, and he was in the camper, and there were like deep, like dark veins all over his bald head.
He
like,
was coming all fleshy.
I was
yeah.
like, it's Venom.
Yeah. Okay, Viviana. 1 to 10. What are you giving the Addams Family 2?
I think I'm gonna give it a 7.
You say all of that, and it's a 7?
I told you.
I think you haven't said one good thing about
I
this.
told you it was entertaining.
Okay, so it's a
It just
7.
didn't make sense.
So do you like it more or less than Addams Family Reunion?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Which one would you rather watch? Okay, may I make a pitch for Family Reunion? How much did we laugh during that one?
Yes, we
Every
did.
scene. How many times did we laugh in this one?
Many.
No, like a few times maybe.
Oh, I know. I'll put it above.
Oh, ridiculous. Okay.
I know.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, I thought I had copied it, but I guess I didn't. Sir! I'll just type it. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. You're giving it a 7. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, I already typed it. You don't need to do the waiting music. I was already typing.
Some music.
I remember I once told you about Muzak, and you went, "You mean music?" I went, "No, Muzak is like a thing. M-U-Z-A-K." You were like, "What? Don't you just mean music?"
Well, because I've never heard anyone say that word before.
I know, but you were just so incredulous.
Because Muzak is technically under music.
I'm giving this a 5
It's
out
a
of 10.
form of music.
I'm giving this a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I was thinking a 6,
Okay.
but after talking about it, it's very mediocre, I think. Just like very, very middle of the road, very...
Yeah.
It's a high 5, though. High 5. It's a high 5. Because there were some moments that were entertaining, but like they weren't incredibly entertaining. Just like, oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So it's a high 5, but it's still a 5. It's mediocre.
Yeah.
I would still put it above Halloween with the new Addams Family, because at least this one is like a movie, whereas that one was just like a 22-minute episode stretched out to 70 minutes. So at least this was still a movie that, for better or for worse, again, the pacing, it was very fast.
Mm-hmm. I'm very interested to see our combined ranking. So.
Well, I mean, it's mostly the same, except for a few.
I know. I mean,
Maybe we should record just like later this afternoon, just wrap it all up.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know, but to you listeners, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks, because that's it for this week's episode. Now, that's what I call a franchise. Next week, I really should change the script, because technically we do a break in between, like a 1-week break. So, not next week, but next week, we'll be taking a look back on the entire Addams Family franchise and trying to make sense of it all. Viviana, where can they find us?
Well, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Franchise Podcast.
And if you have...
Also on YouTube.
We are on YouTube. I should add that to the script. We are on YouTube. If you have the time, leave a rating for us on Apple Podcasts, because apparently that helps.
And if you have even more time, leave us a review too.
We know you have many podcasting options, and we thank you for choosing us. Peace out, guys.
Later.